Some shocking information I want to share with you right here in this video in regards to some new reports that were recently released, as well as some new information on seniors, the elderly and people with disabilities, as well as some other updates. Let's get into it right away. But if you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to subscribe by hitting that button right down below the video. Let's jump right into the update. Alright, there is so much going on right now. Are we really living through all this stuff that is going on right now? Honestly, the last 2 years now with all this COVID situation, and now the global conflict and disinflation, gas prices. Therefore, we got to find ways to work around it and to figure out how we can get additional relief money, things like this going forward. I want to talk through some details here on some new reports I came across. So number one, now I've only talked about this agency maybe like one other time about a year ago or so, I think. But anyway, it is called Meals on Wheels. I want to talk about this really quickly here because I just read a new report about them. First up, really quickly, if you're not heard about Meals on Wheels, I highly recommend checking them out. It's a really cool service. They help our seniors, the elderly people with disabilities. They deliver hot meals right to your door. Here's the deal, just like everybody else out there right now, they're also struggling with financial issues and maybe not having quite enough money. Here's why. According to this report I was reading, 40% of their funding comes from the government. Meanwhile, the other 60% of their funding needs to come from individuals, people like you and me and corporations and wealthy donors. People like this who send the money to help out with their operations, to get out all the money or all the foods and things like this that they need to all the people who need these services. However, as a result, maybe diminishing donations with all that going on as well, and the lack of funding, they're also being hammered down by all this inflation. And yes, of course, increased gas prices. Here's the deal with that, what they do. They basically prepare meals, they put it into a vehicle and they drive all around town delivering these hot fresh meals to the doors of seniors, elderly people with disabilities, low-income individuals. Well, as a result that these increased gas prices are digging into their bottom line, right? Just like essentially everybody else right now. If you're living on a fixed income or essentially any income right now, the increased prices on essentially everything because of inflation. And yes, gas prices are literally digging into everything. And that's exactly what Meals on Wheels is also experiencing. Again, this is super interesting, showing just how expensive some services really are out there. So this report was saying that this organization, Meals on Wheels, can feed a senior for the entire year for the same cost of what it actually costs to be in the hospital for 1 day or a nursing home for 10 days. So essentially, pick what you want. Do you want food for the entire year, or do you want to be in the hospital for 1 day? At the end of the day, it's all going to cost exactly the same according to this report. So let's quickly talk about another report that was recently released as well. So the new NBC poll that was just released a couple days ago was asking people, is your lifestyle, as in, is your income keeping up with the cost of living staying the same? Or is it below the cost of living? So your income rate, is it keeping up staying the same, or is it falling behind the cost of living? Here's what I came up with. 62% of respondents said that their income is falling behind the cost of living. Meanwhile, only 6% of respondents said that their income is increasing above and beyond the cost of living. Right now, it's very, very difficult to keep up. And as you can see, these numbers, only 6% are actually having an income that is above and beyond the cost of living. But think of this from perspective. So here's the deal as well. As far as all the numbers that are coming out, the inflationary numbers and everything that we're seeing right now, basically inflation is increasing just below 1% every single month. So therefore, your income would need to be going up by about 1% every single month just to stay ahead of the cost of living. But anyway, the cost of living right now is going up very substantially. Here's what else was interesting. In the same report, they also talked about another economic number that was just released a couple of days ago. It is the PCE, Personal Consumption Expenditures. Now this is another inflationary gauge. It was up 6.4% year over year. Here's what it comes down to within this report. They found that energy prices are up 25% year over year. At the same time, food prices, you want to eat so much, food prices are up 8% year over year. So you can see right there, even on food, the basic necessities that everybody needs are even up 8%. So it makes it really hard to get ahead these days when you're paying 8% more for the same old things, the same food, everything else what you were paying just a year ago, right? That's just on food. What about housing? What about clothing? What about gas? What about energy? Utilities, electrical bills, prescriptions, I mean literally everything that we are buying right now continues to go up in price. Alright, so let's quickly talk about another report out there. Well, in the supply chain, here's what it comes down to. The entire city of Shanghai, China is locked down. This is about 25 million people just in that one city alone. They actually did a two-part lockdown. So on March 28th, they locked down half of the city. Well, on April 1st, they locked down the other half of the city. So 25 million people are in lockdown right here, right now in Shanghai, China. Now, you might be wondering, who cares? It's China. What do we care about them? Well, we do care a lot because here's why. There's a ton of different products that we buy at our stores that are made in China. Therefore, if 25 million people are locked out in that city, that means that a lot of things that we buy, as you know, Americans that we import from China, may be not being produced right now. Therefore, it may put another strain on the supply chain. That means that less product coming overseas into our store shelves just means that less supply means equal or more demand for less supply, means prices must go higher. It's a simple supply and demand equation once again. So this may put additional strain on the supply chain and ultimately increase prices. Even more and more products breakages that we want to know, right? Anyway, across China right now, there are millions and millions of people locked down, not only Shanghai, but there are other locations across China. There's about 37 million people as of the last report that is run on this that are locked down in China right now, right? So it's a lot of people and potentially a lot of factories and things like this. And the things that we buy from those factories may not be coming in the quantities that we actually need. Anyway, hopefully we can get some kind of solutions. And hopefully we can get something figured out here relatively soon. Hopefully we can be back up and running in normal lives once again relatively soon. But realistically, at the end of the day, hopefully Congress comes together and gets some money out to the people. Anyways, as I do get more details on any of this stuff, of course, I'll be right back here for yet breaking it down and helping you out in any way that I can. But these are some of the reports that I wanted to share with you right here in this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you again later in the next videos.